Hi everybody, this is Catherine from In the Pink Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I have a sneak peek from the new mini catalog, the Holiday Mini. And I used this stamp set, which is Sweets and Treats, and I was going to do something with this because I bought, they have shaker domes that go with it. But I thought I bought a bundle, and this is not the stamp set that the die bundle goes with. There's another stamp set that makes kind of like a snow globe that these go to. So when I clicked this, I thought I was buying the bundle, but this doesn't have a bundle. So I put in the wrong number. But I ordered them, so I will be doing something with that soon. So I decided to use this image right here, which is really, I think, a gelatin mold, actually, no, it's a plum pudding or fruitcake, one of them. But I finally found the mini Baby Bundts. I can't wait. I couldn't wait. I didn't taste it yet. But this one is cinnamon swirl. There's one other kind, but I finally got them in the Walmart by me. And somebody asked me to do a tutorial for a box for it, but I couldn't find them. It's probably 2-3 months since I was able to, well, I've been looking for them, and they finally arrived in my store. So I used this new stamp set. I actually used the stocking dies for this little die here for the sentiment, which is a tasty treat for someone sweet. Which goes to these stocking dies, but the stocking dies actually go to this adorable stamp set with the kitties and the gerbil and the doggy. I love this. So I'll be doing a project with that soon too. And I also used a new designer series paper, this one here, which is called Whimsy and Wonder Specialty Designer Series paper. And all of these, I believe, will be available on August 4th. If you have purchased from me in the last year that I've been a demonstrator, I will automatically send you one. I haven't been feeling well. That's why I'm sorry I missed 2 videos last week and at the beginning of this week. My daughter's moving to Florida from Long Island, and it's just really made me sad. I haven't really wanted to do this, so thank you very much everyone who watches this, because I really wanted to get myself moving and do that. I also had surgery last week, so I had a double whammy. Alright, so the Whimsy and Wonder Designer Series paper, it is so adorable. There's little deer, little pink deer in some of these ornaments on that piece. So cute. Alrighty, I'm thinking we don't have a Blushing Bride blends right now, so I just stamped it on Blushing Bride paper, but I'm wondering if I should have used this pretty green. I think that's what I'm going to do this time. I'll do that instead of on the Blushing Bride. We'll switch it up. Okay, so let me go into what you need for this project. You need a Baby Bundt, or I mean, this box measures 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 by 1 1/2. So you could really put any kind of goodies. And there is a candy apple. I guess that's good for Halloween. Pie, cupcakes, heart cookies. There's lots of stuff you could do with this. You'd use the heart for Valentine's Day. Really sweet. Alright, and what this does is it opens up like this, and this is the new ribbon that is called Frayed Grosgrain Blushing Bride ribbon. It's really pretty. It has like a fuzzy edge kind of from being frayed, and I just poked a hole so this comes out here. You could, instead of doing with the holes and the tying, you could just put a Velcro dot there and then tie a bow and stick it on there, which is what I think I'll probably do on the next one. because this took 16 inches of this ribbon, so maybe we won't do that. And I used some window sheet, which I put on too early, so I had to rip off, but it goes that way sometimes. And the Baby Bundt is inside. So there's a little bit of room, so if you wanted to put cookies or something else. I wanted to make it big enough to offset the cake on the front. Okay, so what we need for this project is a large piece of Blushing Bride cardstock, which is 10.5 by 7.25. We need Blushing Bride Basic White, which actually we don't need the Blushing Bride. We're going to use the back of this sheet for the bottom of the cake this time. And Mint Macaron cardstock for the greeting that we did. And Basic White for the top of the pretty cake. We need a window sheet that is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And then we need the DSP. We need one piece that is 3 by 3. 4 pieces that are 3 by 1 1/4 for the sides, and one piece that is 3 by 3/4, which goes right up here. Okay. All right, so let's start with our piece of Blushing Bride that is 10.5 by 7.25. Okay, I'm gonna score the 10.5 inch side first, and we're going to score at 1, 4 1/4, 5 3/4, and 9. Okay, then we're going to switch it to the 7 1/4 side, and we're going to score at 1/2, 2, 5 1/4, and 6 3/4. Okay. Now I'm just going to fold and burnish. Okay, so this is what we want to do. Now there is a 1 inch long rectangle on this left side and a 1 1/2 on the right side, and then a skinny rectangle the length of the top and the bottom. All right, so this is what we want to do. Okay, we're going to get rid of all of this on both sides, closest to the 1 inch strip. Okay, and then we just have to get rid of these on the other side. All right, so we're going to be starting on the left-hand side where the 1 inch strip is. You're going to go over 2 score lines and cut up to the second score line, and then get rid of all of this. Okay. All right. Then this square we need to make a tab, so go to the other side of that square. Cut off that bottom rectangle, and then take a wedge out of each side of that square. Okay, I'm going to leave these 2 rectangles alone, and then we need to make a tab out of the square over here. So I'm going to cut this rectangle off, and then take a little wedge out of each side of that square. Okay, that's the first side. Now we're going to turn it around so that the 1 1/2 inch strip here is on the left and the 1 inch is on the right. Okay, so we need to make these 2 squares tabs. So we're going to cut the side of it straight up, take off the tab there, and wedge the sides. Okay, go to the other side of these 2 rectangles that we're leaving alone. I'm just straightening that. Cut the side of it straight, go to the other side of the square and cut it straight. Okay, I'm going to take off this bottom rectangle here. Oops. Okay, and we're going to wedge both sides of the square. Alrighty. Okay, And then all of this here, we're going to take off up to the second score line and cut it all the way over to that tab we made. Okay, so that's what your cardstock should look like after you cut it. Okay, now we need the detail trio punch, and we're going to round the corners of that 1-inch piece that's left, and 1 inch wide. And then I'm going to close it. And then what's left of the skinny rectangles, we want to round the edge of the side that's farthest away from this that we just did. So turn it around and then round these two. Okay, and that's what it should look right before we put it together, with the 1-inch strip on the left, then the 1.5 on the right. Okay, now we have to we're going to cut our hole right here in the flap. So what did I do with my hole punch? Now you can use, this is a 2 1/4. This is an old one. We don't sell circle punches anymore. You can use your layering circle dies, but this way is easier because you don't have to fold everything up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of the many pieces I just wasted because I did it wrong on camera. And I'm just going to take one and I'm going to put a little bit of seal on it. And I'm going to do it by eye, but this makes it a little bit easier to punch, because most of the time when I do it, I punch not great. Okay, so that is our first one. Now what we have to do is get our piece of DSP and put it on right here. Okay, so I'm just going to put glue. I'll put a little glue right here, 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 and right here, and then all around the edge of this. So that, oh, maybe right, just close to it because I don't want it to show out the sides. Just little bits, just to secure it. All right. And then I'm just going to put it on. And it has about 1/8 of an inch border all around. Sometimes maybe it looks less because of the way the score lines were. All right. Let that dry 1 second. All right, and then I'm just going to turn it over and punch out that again. Okay. Now, if you did this with the dies, you could just glue the whole thing on and then run it through by folding these in through the machine. Alrighty. All right, now we need some tearing tape, and we're going to put 2 pieces on each of the tabs. One close to the score line and one close to. Okay, and then we're just going to take off one side at a time. And we want the top of our tab here, this piece of the cardstock, this fold, to match up with the side of here. Okay, so it's this has to go straight with this piece here. Whoops, this one. We have to make this straight with this. Okay, that's good. And then our side will fold in, and that keeps our lid from pushing in too much. Then we're going to take off this side. Okay. And the same thing. Oops, I should have taken these off already, but that's all right. You could always make it work. Okay. Alrighty. And then that's your basic box right there. Okay, so let's put the rest of our cards, our designer series paper on. This piece was 3 by 3. Alrighty. Now you need 4 pieces, one all around the sides that are 1 inch by 3 inches. Okay, now for the piece that is 3/4 by 3. What we want to do is round, figure out which way you want it to go, and then round the bottom sides with the detail trio punch. Around the corners. We'll put some glue on that too. Okay, now we need our window sheet. And this is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And we need, you could glue this, but you have to be very careful not to get any on the window sheet. If you do, you can get it off with alcohol, but it's a pain. So I'm just going to use dots. And I'm going to use 8. Which is probably overkill. You probably don't need all these, but this is just a 1-piece thing that's really not leaking out, so I'm not worrying about it. And it's a lot of glue dots to use. So just open that, put it over, and just press it on. And I got glue. All right, I'll clear that up later. All right. Okay, so that's done now. Now for this one, I took a 1/8 inch hole punch. I punched it in the middle, on the front flap. I put it down, took a pencil, made a mark, and then punched a hole in the same spot on the bottom. I took a 16-inch piece of Blushing Bride frayed grosgrain ribbon. I tied a little knot at this end and stuck my ribbon through the hole from the inside to the out, and then I fed it through this hole, pulled it, and tied a bow. All right, I'm not going to do it that way this time. I'm going to get a Baby Bundt Cake and put it in. And then I'm just going to get some Velcro dots. Okay, and if you're doing a whole bunch, the Velcro dots are cheaper than all that extra inches of ribbon. So I would probably go for the Velcro dots. All right, so we put one on, put one on top of it with the adhesive facing me, close it, make sure it's nice and centered, and press. Gently open it, and then we're just going to squeeze and squeeze. All right. Okay, now we can just close it up and make a bow with only a couple inches of ribbon. Probably about half the size, half the amount of ribbon. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim it. And again, I'm going to put some glue dots on. Probably going to put 2, one right next to each other. All right, and then I'm just going to stick it right in the middle, right like that. Alrighty, and now we can do a little stamping. Okay, so we're going to be using this image and some Tuxedo Black Ink. And we're going to stamp it once on this DSP. This one has the trees on the other side. Okay. And once on basic white. And I should be using my Stampin' mat. Okay. Where's my cat? There it is. All right. So now what we want to do is color the leaves and the berries on this one. So for the leaves, I'm using light Mossy Meadow Stampin' Bundt. Okay. And we don't have Blushing Bride Stampin' Blends that I know of. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't have them. And I'm going to just take my blender pen and my little block, and I'm just going to get a little bit of ink on it. I don't need this anymore. And I'm going to pick up a little ink and just color the berries Blushing Bride. Okay. And then we just get the color off. All right. Now for this one here. Okay, now we just have to do some fussy cutting. On the one that is basic white, we just want the white part and the top leaves. Okay, so we're just cutting off the bottom of this cake. So that's that piece. And then we're just going to fussy cut. I'm going to just do all the way up. I don't have to worry about the leaves and all that. So I'm just going to make sure that the bottom is nice and make sure I cut right up to the edge on the top there. All right, now I'm just going to glue this one right on top of the mint Macaron DSP. Don't put any leaves on glue on the leaves, and it'll go just like that. Okay. Alrighty. Now we're going to put some dimensionals on. Put 3 there, and then I'm going to use 2 sides for the leaves. Okay. Alrighty. This one. I'm just going to put this right on the bottom left of the box. Alrighty. So we didn't need the extra Blushing Bride cardstock for this one because we used it right on there. Alright, we used this DSP. Now we have to do the sentiment. We need the Mint Macaron cardstock and the Memento ink again. And this says a tasty treat for someone sweet. And I'm sure I'll be making tags for my big cookie thing. I make cookies every year for Christmas, and I'll probably make a tag with something like this. All right, and then I'm just going to put this die, and this die is from Stocking Dies, and I'll tape that down, which I already really did this. Okay, I already cut it out. All right, and then I'm just going to glue this. I definitely think that this works out better than having to pull, because this is pretty thick ribbon. You might, if you want to do the ribbon, I would make it a little bit of a bigger hole punch, maybe. All right, so I'm just going to put this up here, little label. And then for the final touches, I'm going to put some Wink of Stella glitter on the white parts of the cake. And then I'm going to use actually a soft succulent 2021-23 in color jewel right at the edge of the tag. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching me today. I appreciate the time you spend, and I will be sending out my catalogs this week. You can start purchasing on August 4th, and I would love it if you don't have a demonstrator, if you would purchase from me to keep me going, buying all these things and showing you how to use them. Please subscribe and hit the like button, and I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.